What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green. Nate, it's a new era. New era has not quite officially begun yet, but we've taken steps in the right direction. You'll get, I don't even know, like, where do we even start with this? This is huge, huge. Like, okay, you saw what I did there.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Did the
This is
my
this is
hair,
good news. We have a shot.
Joe Kelly shirt. It's intriguing. It's obviously nothing's official yet. Nothing will be official for quite some time, I don't think. I know you think it's going to be quick and easy, but I think there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. And this is going to take some time to break down. This isn't going to be a one-time deal. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out over the next days, weeks, months, hell, probably even years. To be honest, with everything that's happened,
Some stuff might not even come out.
some stuff, some stuff will never come out. Some stuff, we already know that can't be told. It's there are certain things, that just kind of stay off the record, that will always stay off the record, that are assumed. And it is what it is. If you guys are not Angels fans, or you guys just are kind of living under a rock, Arte Moreno is inquiring about selling the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. It's
There's no
unbelievable.
Anaheim anymore. It's just Los Angeles Angels.
They're from Anaheim. Los
They don't
Angeles
have
Angels.
Anaheim.
The Los Angeles Angels from Anaheim.
Sure.
Does that make that better for him? It's intriguing. That's just there to say the least. I'll give my initial thoughts here. But of course, before we do that, just want to thank you all for listening to this podcast here at Talking Halos. Again, making us the best Angels podcast out there. New era, new dawn of new era, and it's been a long time coming. It really, really has been. I don't know. Honestly, like there's when you see the news, there's a stress relief off you. And we'll get to that. Honestly, that really was. It was like stress off the shoulders. It's big for everybody. But of course, just want to thank you all for listening to the podcast. If you could subscribe wherever you're listening, pound the subscribe button on YouTube as well. If you're watching us on there, you can go follow us on all of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just look us up, Talking Halos. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Timms. You can follow Nate at NateGreen34. If you are listening to us on one of our sister stations, give us a second to pay the bills. If not, if you are on YouTube, let's get it rolling. Right, Nate? Big news today. Of course, we already mentioned it. Say hi to your dad behind us, by the way. I love it. It doesn't even bother me. It really doesn't. Like, this is one of those days it doesn't bother me. Tell him there's going to be a lot of listeners and viewers on this one, so he's going to be famous. But no, I love it. I'll give my initial thoughts here first. I didn't think this day would come until something happened, and I'm not going to say it, but I didn't think this day would come. It was always what happens when that day comes. What does Carol Moreno do? What does John Carpino do? What does his Artie's sons do? But I didn't think that this day would come. However, we have said this for years. We have said this wholeheartedly. Arte Moreno is a fantastic businessman, and he has put the Angels in a good spot right now to be sold to a good owner. That is fair to say. Like there's
put himself in a good spot to make a lot of money, and yes, that is what he cares about.
That's all he cares about. Correct. I'm cool with that. However, as a fan of the Angels, would you rather them be that Disney team that wasn't worth very much money at the time, maybe middle of the pack, who is probably not going to be pushing any luxury tax? Or would you rather them have done what they did and sell the team to Arte Moreno, of course, him put us through the last 10 years of hell, to be honest. Like that's pretty much what it feels like. And the Angels be worth a $2.2 billion now, and the Angels possibly thinking about maybe getting, not the Angels thinking about it, but certain people thinking about owning the Angels and putting a lot of money into the Angels to continue to grow them. There is that side of it, and I don't think a lot of people are thinking about that either. Yes, Artie has been cheap, but he's also put the Angels in a good spot where they're at right now. I know that's going to be a weird take. It's going to sound really weird, But we've been very transparent, very blatant on that side of things. Artie's been a fantastic businessman. He's just not a baseball man.
The number one owner involved in everything, so that'd be nice to get a guy in the room, a grown up in the room, a baseball guy in the room to be able to make baseball decisions. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. This has a lot of a breakdown. Honestly, already selling the team changes a lot. It could change who is the GM. It could change who is the next manager. It could change Shohei Ohtani's future. It changes a lot of people's futures in the next year with the Angels. So this is not just a who's going to buy the team and that's it. There's a lot of things that are going to go into this, and I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah. And one idea, and this is honestly, like you said, this is going to take weeks to really break down. I know Derek wants to come on and break it down. I know, I already talked Jacob Cisneros. I know Jacob's gonna want to come on and talk about this. I mean, if you want to come on, go ahead, let us know. I'd love to get you on and let you rant a little bit about Artie. Obviously, nothing's done until it happens. That's the big thing there. However, it's steps in the correct direction. Yes, you bring up a very interesting point. This changes a lot of things. It really does. I mean, from who's in the clubhouse to who's on the field to what they're wearing to what they are called to what the color the Angels are to where they are playing. Like whoever owns this team could hypothetically move them. Very shortly.
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Very unlikely because you're not spending $2.2 billion to move a team somewhere out of state, which is going to cost even more money. Yeah, even if you're moving them, it's going to cost way too much money to do that. So I don't think that's the route that people are going to go. It's going to go between $2 and $2.5 billion, somewhere in that neighborhood. Obviously, could go for a little more, could go for a little less, but that's the price range you're looking at. When it comes to buying a professional sports team, it does cost a lot.
We have a lot of knowledge in that, by the way. We own
multiple sports teams. We do. But it's not something that's going to come where it's like, oh, hey, this is going to be super easy. We're just going to buy the team and then we're going to move them within 24 hours. That's not how this is going to work. You got to get approval from the league. You got to get you also have to make arrangements for that, and that's not going to be something that's going to be quick decision. I think I don't even think that makes logical sense. I know it's possible, but I don't think it's likely, because if you're buying the Angels for 2.2, part of the reason California, you're buying them, all of that, you're not moving them out of California.
No. And if you were listening from the Salt Lake, don't get your hopes up. I know there's been some rumors going around, and I love you guys up there. I really do, or down there from where I'm at. But I love you guys in Salt Lake. It's not happening though. Have fun with the Salt Lake Bees. I love the Bees, but I don't think the Angels are moving out there. We want to keep this short today, so there's a couple owners that a couple potential owners. One of them is, probably two of them we'll bring up, is who we would love to see, baseball background and everything. Another one makes a hell of a lot of sense, and we'll tell you why. So let's start with the two guys that have the baseball background. Probably some other names will pop up in this mix as well. Probably 3 or 4 that we talked about off the record today. We'll bring on the record, but Nate, rattle them off for me. They do make a lot of sense. They really do.
You want 2 or do you want all 4?
Just go do your thing. Talk about them.
Okay, so we mentioned Derek Jeter, of course, who had some ownership in the Marlins. I know the first thought is, wow, the Marlins were not good under Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter had a plan. Derek Jeter had a plan that was going to spend. They were going to spend money this offseason, and 2020 happened and kind of changed the owner's side of things, where he was like, ooh, we didn't make money that year. We were supposed to make money, and now all of a sudden, my plans are changing about when I want to start spending money. Jeter really wanted Castellanos. That changes things too. Jeter says, I'm not going to run a team that doesn't want to spend money. So he ends up leaving. So I think Derek Jeter wants to be a part of an ownership team that is willing to spend money. And again, like Jared brought up, if you're spending $2.2 billion, you're going to spend money. So Jeter would make some sense.
Yes. And also look at the farm system. Like it's not a bad farm system down there in Miami either. You know, they have one of the best pitching and development. The Angels have gone that way a lot. Who knows if Perry's still around, but they're not horrible by any means.
Yeah. So
It's an
Jeter's
arm
one of
system.
them. Fan favorite Torrey Hunter. He has mentioned that he wants to be a GM/owner in the near future. If he wouldn't be the guy putting up the most money, but he could be the guy who puts up a little bit of money and just is around. And kind of like Magic Johnson was with the Dodgers, where he was just around all the time. He was at the stadium. He was um, in the media talking about how good the Dodgers were, how much fun the Dodgers are, this and that. And unlikely. I think Torrey Hunter's probably the most unlikely of the four that we're going to mention, but I think just we have to mention him just because I think he's a fan favorite in Anaheim, and I loved having him on the team. So that would be fun. Probably the most unlikely.
And where that's actually Torrey Hunter is where the downfall, I think, of the Angels have
Yeah,
started. So
yeah. Probably when they didn't give him money and they found a bag of money for Josh Hamilton, but whatever.
for another day.
David Ortiz, kind of interesting guy. I don't really think this one's realistic as well, but
No.
he has the money, kind of like Jeter, where he would have enough money. I don't know if he really has that urge to buy a professional sports team, and I think the only way he would join a team is if it's the Red Sox. But you never know. Maybe this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to own one of the richest baseball teams, or one of the most well-off baseball teams. We'll go with that.
Yeah, and you interchange that with Vlad too. Like I feel like
Yes.
you have to throw Vlad in the mix there. Not that
Yeah.
any of these guys are going to do this, but
This guy, the last guy I'm going to bring up, I actually think is going to be a real possibility. Alex Rodriguez. I tweeted out there. I know people were upset about Alex Rodriguez. Is Alex Rodriguez even capable of being an adult in the room? I think he is. I think he has matured a lot as he has grown older. We have seen, the scandals. Most of that stuff was early in his career. Even the steroids that he was found out, that was way early in his career. That was not something that happened when he was 38 years old. That was something from way back in the day when he was, in his. That's when he got suspended. Yes, when he was in his late 30s, but it was for an issue prior to that.
yeah,
He has the money. He really wants to own a professional sports team. I know he's part owner of the Timberwolves. I think he would rather own a baseball team than that. And I think for the Angels and for him, if the Angels really wanted to be put in a really good spot, and not that Artie really cares about who owns the team, but if A-Rod wants to make sure the Angels are in a really good spot, I also think that he's not the number one owner. He's not putting up the most money. I think with him, you pair him with this next guy that Jared and I will bring up, and it becomes a very, very good partnership for the Angels.
absolutely. No, like I said, A-Rod makes the most sense, followed by Jeter.
From the
Most
baseball side.
from the baseball
When
side of
you
things, yeah.
when
If you
you
want to
look
get a
at like money side, there's going to be two guys, three guys, four guys that make a lot of sense.
yeah,
But baseball side, those are the 4 or 5 guys that make the most sense.
yeah, I'm with it. I like A-Rod. I think Jeter makes a lot of sense. I don't know if he comes out west or he likes the west. He likes the East Coast. Same thing with
A-Rod really feels like a California guy. He's the
Right.
beach guy. He's that guy. I mean, he loves the attention. He loves the California vibe. I think he makes the most sense. I think Jeter would rather kind of be low key.
Yeah, yeah. And this last guy, and we're not even going to mention. I'll throw it out there now. We're not even going to mention the Samuelis, or the Irvine Company. I know that there's a lot of money in the Irvine Company. I don't know who owns the Irvine Company.
You won't even mention Elon Musk
Now
or
we don't need to
Mark
mention
Cuban.
Elon, Cuban.
Cuban's possible.
Yeah, there are a lot of. There's going to be a lot of people in. Like that's just plain and simple. It's a lot of money, but there's going to be a lot of people in on owning the Angels. This next guy makes way too much sense, and that's Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. It
You put A
really does.
Rod and Steve Ballmer together. That could be a very, very fun team.
You know he's going to want to go spend money.
Yes,
Um, there's
he's
an
not
empty
involved a lot.
no. There's an
He
empty
wants to
arena.
win.
There's an empty arena just north of Angels Stadium, looking maybe for a basketball team at some point, and maybe looking for some renovations at the Honda Center as well. I know they've done some stuff out front, but if you get a basketball team there as well, Move the Clippers down here.
Did you know the Clippers played games there from 94 to 98?
That makes sense. You know, that was
Some
what they were saying.
games, not
More of
not a
San
lot.
Diego, more San Diego too, right?
Yeah. So they
You
were
get that
playing games
crowd.
there. I think that might have been right when they moved to LA. They were
Mhm,
playing a little bit there and a little bit in LA.
mhm.
It would be interesting. You move the team to the Honda Center for the Clippers.
Yeah.
You kind of are able to do the same thing the Lakers and Kings have going on, where the Clippers and Ducks could have that going on. Change their name to the OC Clippers, and then you're right across the street from each other with the Angels and the Clippers. He's got the money to do it. It would
You
be fun for him to bring a baseball guy with him and not just solely own the team. I'm sure he would own like 95% of the team or 90% of the team. He gives
yeah,
5 to 10% to A Rod. A Rod makes, is the baseball guy in the room, not necessarily making the baseball decisions, but at least just a guy who has been there, done that, understands what it's like to be in the baseball world.
yeah. Yeah, and also, I mean, on top of that, you get the Clippers, and I know we mentioned the Clippers a lot here, and obviously not a Clippers podcast, but you get the Clippers out of the Lakers' shadow, move them down here. They get their own thing. I know I as a kid was never a basketball fan because we don't have a basketball team close to us. I mean, Lakers, Clippers, yeah. But everybody's Lakers fan, right? Um, be awesome to have a team, down here for basketball. Um, the Angels could also get out of the Los Angeles shadow as well if owned by Ballmer, because that he would like to get out of the Los Angeles side of things as well.
Well,
Um,
especially if he moved the team to Orange County to move with the Ducks, I think the first order of business, being the Angels' new owner, would be okay. We're going back to the Anaheim Angels.
yeah. And we're
I
not even going to break any of that stuff down.
No,
That's going to
that
be your
that'll be
podcast
later.
to come.
That'll be later. But I think that's the most obvious thing is he changes the name to Anaheim Angels. He moves the Clippers down here and names them the OC Clippers, and now he's not in the Lakers limelight, and he doesn't have to hear about being the little brother and
Yeah,
going into the arena and seeing everyone else's championships except for their own and things like that. So and he has an opportunity to spend like the Dodgers do and go beat the Dodgers and just prove that there's no little brother down here.
absolutely. Make the Angels great again. So, Nate, you got any final thoughts before we let everybody go? Like I said, I want to keep this a quick one. Just give our initial thoughts and maybe some options who might buy the Angels.
Yeah, this is definitely a day that we've been waiting for a long time. I know you and I joke about this day for forever. I even joked about it with you this morning, and then it leaked that this was going to happen. So I just think that the Angels are going to get better. I think that this is going to be a big win, a big thing for the Angels because now they're going to have someone. They were going to have a general manager making general manager decisions rather than an owner telling the general manager what he wants. And if he doesn't do those things, then something's going to happen. So I'm excited for the future. I think the Angels are in a great spot, and I think they're right back on track to being a postseason team within the next year or two.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it'll be, like I said, this is not something that is just a one podcast and done thing. We'll be talking about this for days, weeks, months to come, especially with, the Angels playing the way they are. We'll probably get some Rocket City in there as well because they're playing well. Arizona League just ended today as well. Angels actually just missed out of the playoff spot by one game today in a loss, unfortunately. So um, Dominican Summer League is over as well. So we have some minor league stuff to talk about. However, this is going to be the big news rolling into the off season, and yeah, we'll be talking about this daily, weekly, monthly. So it'll be a lot of fun, to be honest, breaking this down. If you want to jump on with us and talk a little bit, I'm more than happy to have you guys on. I absolutely love talking with the bands that want to jump on. If you're on YouTube, again, if you want to do that thing and jump on with us, more than happy to do that. If you could, guys, go ahead and subscribe wherever you are listening. If you're on YouTube, pound that subscribe button. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Tims, Nate on Nate at Nate Green 34. Guys, thank you so much for listening and have a great rest of your day.